but I will start by sharing the screen here, sharing the screen, and going to the major place, and that is right here. Okay, so it's a webinar for those who are new here. It's been around for more than 2 years, and you can find it with all the recordings every time I show what's today, and then going down, you will see what was before. One of the useful things here, there are all the links. First of all, the link to that content, and I'm giving it to you on chat. Okay. And hello, Vallejo, California. Hi, John. Okay, so here is the link that you may want to open. And all the links, well, almost all of the links there work. If you look at that, that is what I call Sky AI Education Program. Well, it's not really Sky, it's compendium from everywhere. And all the new courses, and I'm going to talk about one of them today, they are all right here. Built-in games is what we're doing today, and it's interesting. It's not even a link here, but it is a link on our what we're going to do. So I'm starting. Hello, everyone, again, and let's look at what we have. So first of all, we'll look at the news, and as always, it is very practical. It's everything that we talk about. I want to try it because it's either that I teach it or I use it in my work. Okay. Is that the best meeting to get an AI girlfriend? I don't know. I don't know if girlfriends come here to this meeting, right? But that's a good question. How about the AI girlfriend? Let us do this. I copy those questions and I put them as a preparation for the next meeting. And maybe I will put it into then the next meeting if I can. Can I turn on my mic and say something? Yes, yes, 1 second. And thank you for doing that because that is what I tell everybody. If you want to say something, there you are. Now I'm going to the participants here. And I'm looking at all the participants. And I see 2 PAC. So I allowed one of them to talk. Okay. I will put in my headset. Can you talk now? And I also have another PAC and allowed the other one to talk. Okay, so if you want to say something, here you are. But meanwhile, let's continue. And first of all, the interesting news and not big news items. The one that I see is that different people, and by people I mean authorities in the AI, they all differ. Do you see a slowdown in the progress? That's been around for years. Is there a place when we will not be able to train? By now, it takes at least $100 million to train what's called the foundational model. In other words, the general AI. If you want to say that this is AGI and general AI, not a specific one, and that's what people would like to say. They are close. So do we see the slowdown? And Andrew Ng talks about that, and some people say yes, some people don't. But what is important is that there is a whole world of applications, AI applications. I was a little scared of the picture from Park. So maybe the models are slowing down. At least 50% of people say yes, models are slowing down, and 50% say no. But nobody ever says that the progress of AI, all the applications that people build, that is slowing down. That is not. Thank you. So that's number one, and no big news here of global kind. Okay, he talks about that there is an AI war in US and China, and US stops the chips production for China, but that is not our level. All right, the next thing is quantum computing. Quantum computing, one of my friends showed me an article, and that article mentioned this, and he asked me, well, is it something important? Well, it turns out I have a friend, a nephew, who is working for a quantum computing company, and I sent him the show, 5 Minute Show, that's where it's from. And he said, no, it is just hype, purely hype. There is nothing in quantum computing that made a big progress. Nevertheless, look at the numbers. So if you look at quantum computing, let's go and say it, look at qubit. So QUBT and then stock price, right? So let's look at the whole story, 5 years. So there is a trend going up. Look, it was about $1 and it's $5. So that's something. For those people who do this trading, that's important. Then if we go back and look at these at IonQ or D-Wave. So let's look at D-Wave because I know something about them. D-Wave stock price. So that is not a penny stock. It used to be. But it is a real company that is real, but it was pretty high, and now it's at 4. So that is not by itself fantastic news, but I'm not a financial analyst. What is interesting is that they are making progress. All of that is still in the area of research. And where do I see it? Well, right here. That is a new article about the Chinese researchers. They claim to break RSA encryption. That would be big news. That's the article. And I'm not saying that I read it in Chinese, but there is a summary in English here. But if you read into this article, you will see that they talk about they have a new algorithm that shows more promise. And that is always the story. I was on the Slack for the quantum computing at IBM, and I once asked that question. So, are there real applications and what do they look like? And he said, we all don't know. So, that is where that is. Nevertheless, since quantum computing is absolutely fascinating and very mystical, because there you meet the mysticism right away, unlike artificial intelligence, which is kind of materialistic approach. So I think I will be giving a little bit of the latest news about quantum computing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I used to do it. Thank you, Punk. I used to do it. If I go back to Elephant Scale, you will see that now webinars, there were 3 of them. There was AI and there was
Yeah.
quantum computing. I'm sorry, that doesn't work. I would have to silence you, Punk. So please don't interrupt. But we were talking about quantum computing and at least a little bit, not restoring the webinar, but at least adding a little bit of that. We will do that. Okay, that's as far as a little change in what we're talking about. But now let's go back to AI. So if we go back to the AI, there is a new course, and it's about how do you build your games with AI. So if you click on that link, it will take you, provided that you have the login, to that course. As you can see, there are 5 chapters, but I will show it to you not here. I will show it to you in the code section. You remember that I take the courses, I make sure they run for me, and then I will put it in the open repository. And that's what I showed you in the very beginning. I showed you a big compendium of more than 70 courses. Well, that's the latest. Now, what it does is very interesting. And that, I think, is the trend. Let's open. What it allows you to do is to stop going and building on the low level, but instead, let's go on the high level. In other words, I come to work and I say, AI, hey, I have a task, please do it. I need to know how to talk to AI. But gone are the days when you had to figure out the actual code, because you first of all can ask it to do the code for you. And better than yet, you better than that, you can tell it, just go, here is your task. You're saying your job is create an interesting fantasy world. And the way we're going to do it is explained right here. Okay. So first of all, we will be structuring our world. That actually would work for anything. It would work for structuring, let's see if I have a picture. Yeah, you can be structuring an organization. You can be structuring an approach. You can be structuring knowledge. And here, you will be telling, in addition to all these things, we will be doing it in the fantasy world. Now, I see a lot of comments. Okay. See, and that if it is not a right, I see that it is either person or a robot. So either person or a robot, but I'm taking him out. Okay. And all these messages, I think you can ignore them. Yes. Turn all the comments off. I didn't do that, but I removed that person, which I think shouldn't be here. So we're good for now. And that's the second time we get a little attack like this. I hope it will not repeat. If it does, we'll do something. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So we are showing that you can do now things on a high level. You tell ChatGPT what you want, like here you're creating a textbook. So go structured. Give it the book description, then give it the titles, then give it the headings, and it will continue from there. Now, there are more examples, but here we're building a fantasy world. All right, that's step number 1. Step number 2, they talk about safety and security. Of course, we need to talk about that, but practical developers, they are negligent about that. Instead, they want to show you how to build it. So how you build it is you combine programming the code with the theory. And one of the things you do now is you create yet an additional programming object that is called state. So state is where you store the current state of your game. And it's not enough to write your code to do it. It is also important to do what's needed, and that is add additional programming object that will store the state, and that will be better. You will remember what happened. That is better than asking ChatGPT, try to remember what happened. In the same way, so he explains why it is a good thing. And then he says, now that we have these components, we'll teach ChatGPT to work under these constraints. It will have the task, it will have the sub tasks, it will have the additional state, and finally, that's what you need to do. After that, it will actually create a game for you. All right. Who did all of that? That's all these companies together. What did they do? So first, you run this notebook, and that is how you create your hierarchy, how you create the approach to your game. The next one is how you build a simple game. Now you're actually telling it what to do. You see, you are not writing any code, but you are saying, all right, ChatGPT, that is what you need to do. That's your task. That's who you are. That is how I want you to work. And just enjoy watching how it creates that game. Okay, I think that's a wonderful new approach that I am going to use in my next courses, because I often get those vague requirements as I need to prepare a report for my management. And I don't know how to do it, but ChatGPT does. That is what we learn from here. Okay, that is what I wanted to show you. So the link is there. If you want to go take that course, it's over there open. And let's go back to here. Okay. Oh, where do you find that link? That's a great question. And it is that link that you need. It's the only one. It's that link. Let me explain. So that is the major link. That's the first thing that you need. From that link, you come to this screen. On that screen, you find everything else. One of those things is that. And this is where all the courses are. This is where the building the AI-powered game is. Except that I haven't even filled out that. So, well, let me do it right away. It was right here. And it was that the major thing where it was. So I'm copying that. And I'm putting that in here. And not only that, but in my repository where I give the instructions on how to actually run it. They give the instructions, but it's more the instruction on how to watch the TV show. So you get the overview. But I give the specific do that. Where is that? It's right here. Wait, that's the real code. I'm giving that code to here. Okay. And there are lots of companies, but I won't put in that here right now. I hope that was the question that you were asking. All right, that was this wonderful approach to programming by becoming very familiar. We'll go. I'm usually talking about all that I really do. One of the things that I really work upon is this course. So it's already even published. That's a very practical, and honestly, the first very practical advanced course in AI and building applications on top of AI, which I think, as we said, maybe the model progress is going leveling up, but application progress is its new world. So what they wanted are the things at the bottom. So I give all the introduction, how you talk politely to ChatGPT or another model. By the way, how do you talk to model on your local machine so that you would never send your data away, guaranteed. And then how you put it all together. And finally, these are the use cases. So that's where I was preparing reports for executive. That is what I mentioned in all the other reports. All right, so you see what I'm doing now. I'm taking the open courses, which are by now in the 70 or 80 number, and polish them, make sure they work. And I serve as a guide here. That is one of the things that I'm working on. And I'm checking. Replay will yes, replay will be available. Everybody will automatically get a recording. Where are they? Well, even now, if you go to webinar and then if you click on this AI, which it says every Friday, is the previous one was here, and the one before it was here, and so on. So yes, the replays are available and all the previous history is also available. All right. But to be on track, here I am. We are right here. So I showed you what is interesting, what is most recent, and what is most recent is my personal view of things. I do training. That's one of the most important things. And I get training requests on AI. 2 years, I think from March 2023 to November, okay, year and a half, the AI is making news. Only now I get the first request to deliver the first course, but it's an interesting, challenging course. That's one of the things. Another thing that goes with it is that is a link here. It's not a link to something open, but it is a course that I'm also working on, and it is for developers. So what I showed you is how developers can build uh, uh, a game by not doing any coding, just asking ChatGPT. And how do you do it? That's what I showed. But meanwhile, here I am getting an additional request. So here you are, you see special day 3, 4, and 5. That is what, when I'm able to actually do that, what should go into the coding for developers. And developers are sometimes hard to satisfy audience. So I will be working on that. ChatGPT and how do you use that politely? Copilot and JetBrains, how do you integrate it into your work? And then how do you practically do it? And they said, don't show me how to generate more code. That we know. And don't show me how to use VS Code with AI. That we know. Show me good, real, serious examples. Well, I don't have that yet, but what I like about it, and I'm telling that to you, is that you get more and more real practical requests. All right. And now another thing is that I even see the requests for executives. That will be a challenge because there you are. Let me show you the link. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't show the link. Let me refresh. Somehow, oh, okay, I think it's shown. There you are. That is the F for business leaders, but they want specific use cases. Everybody can blabber about topics. Everybody can talk about models. What they're interested in is how can I implement support? How can I use Sidekick? By the way, Sidekick is the private version of Gemini from Google. So pretty much it's Gemini, and like any other LLM, that's what it is. They are on that version, but it's AI generalized. And then how can I manage contracts? And how can I do inventory management? There you are. That's very practical. Now, let me answer your questions, and that is because I suspect that I have a next meeting. I will apologize, but I'll have to finish it. Okay. So first of all, the replay is available. Then Greg, you're asking something that's related. Okay, I also stole the Skyrim. That is interesting. Let me do this, Greg. Let me copy it and put it in our next webinar plan. I'll just paste it here. And then finally, share a book. A book. I'm in training courses, right? Have I heard about this book, Building Machine Learning? That's super interesting because I'm kind of building the same, except that book printing is a slow process. So I don't think it's as advanced as what it was a year ago when they started writing a book. But anyway, we will look into that tomorrow and I will tell you what I think about it. Thank you very much. And now I have to say goodbye. Just this time I shortened it a little bit just because I have a meeting coming up. So everybody have a great week and a great year and be well. Okay, if you won't be next Friday, you can always read it. And if you have anything interesting, then you can send it. Let me direct myself to everyone and say goodbye and all. And we survived an attack from a hacker, right? And it was easier. The previous attack, I enabled the sound, but to all, and then I couldn't find who is talking. There, at least he asked to be enabled, and I knew who he was. So I was quietly preparing to kick him out, which we did. All right, everyone be well and all the best.